Okay, so the topic on this video today is a bit exciting because I'm going to be talking about one of the most overrated cards on the internet. And yes, I said it, overrated. The card that I'm talking about is the American Express Gold card. And I'm going to be a bit biased because I'm not team travel. I don't travel as much as the average individual, but I think I have some pretty solid points on why the American Express Gold card is just a little bit overrated. Let's get into it. To truly understand how the American Express Gold card is overrated, you have to understand what the card offers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the perks that the American Express Gold card offers, and then we'll talk about why I don't have the American Express Gold card or why I believe it's overrated. So I already know y'all know I was going to start with that annual fee, $250 for the annual fee for the American Express Gold card. And if you know me any or watch any of my other videos, I'm not a fan of cards that have an annual fee, but you can effectively knock that annual fee down, I believe about $240, making it to where you only spend $10. That's if you use everything the card offers. And you'll see why that's not really possible unless you're spending at places you typically wouldn't spend at in order to just utilize all the things that the card offers. Although the American Express Gold card does have a $250 annual fee, it does not have no foreign transaction fees, but we all know how far that goes with American Express cards because you know all places does not accept American Express. So I don't know how far that truly goes. The American Express Gold card does have a sign-on bonus of 60,000 points when you spend $4,000 within 6 months. I don't see many people talk about sign-on bonuses. This one is a bit more fair because you got 6 months to pay $4,000, but some sign-on bonuses you have to spend outside of your normal spend in order to hit sign-on bonuses. And even though this one seems a bit fair, some people don't spend $4,000 in 6 months. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that's probably wondering who don't spend that much on just normal life. I mean, just say you live with your parents. Just say they pay for the groceries. Say they pay for your gas. You're not spending $4,000 in 6 months. And of course, you're probably not talking to those people. But regardless, a lot of people are trying to get credit cards in order to get the sign-on bonus, when if you would have just saved the money that you would have spent in order to hit the sign-on bonus, you probably would have ended up with more. And the value of 60,000 MR points can equal up to $600, 1 cent per point, according to the American Express website. So I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. It depends on if you spend $4,000 in 6 months naturally without going out of your way to spend that much money. And then that will also account with how much value you actually get from the card. You get 4x reward points at restaurants worldwide, 4x reward points at US supermarkets up to $25,000 in a year. You get 3x membership reward points on flights directly booked with airlines on AmericanExpressTravel.com, and 1x membership reward points on all other purchases. You also get $120 Uber Cash annually. You do get 4x membership reward points for Uber Eats purchases. If you don't use Uber Eats, then this don't really help you at all. I mean, I do use Uber Eats, but a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people who don't use Uber Eats. It would be beneficial to me, but I do have other cards that can help me with that multiplier. So I don't necessarily need to use the American Express Gold card for something like this. This card offers $120 dining credit, but to select restaurants. And those places are Grubhub, Goldbelly, Wine.com, Milk Bar, The Cheesecake Factory, and select Shake Shacks. And you do have to enroll in this. I don't really see this as useful because not a lot of people go to those places. And if you are one of those people that go to these places on a regular basis, then I guess this is a good card for you. But for majority of people that I know, they probably go to these places one-off. So it's not really that good of a credit in my opinion. So that's a part of why I don't have the gold card, because I don't feel it offers a lot to the normal consumer. So now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about 4 reasons why I don't have the American Express Gold card. Let's get into those reasons. So the first reason why I do not have or do not plan on getting the American Express Gold card is I cannot justify the annual fee. Majority of the things the American Express Gold card offer, I do not use, or I don't shop at those places or eat at those places. So if I was to get the American Express Gold card, I would start spending at places I normally don't spend at, or I would start using or eating at places I would normally not eat at just to use the card. So I would be going out my way in order to use the American Express Gold card to get those multipliers. I see it like if the American Express Gold card does not offer you anything that you already do in your life, then you probably should avoid it. So the American Express does have high multipliers for restaurants, supermarkets, and flights, but what about all your other purchases? I don't have the American Express Gold card because it's kind of not a good catch-all card. And some people would say that's not a good reason, but if you have a card for supermarkets and restaurants that get very close to the American Express Gold card multipliers, but it has no annual fee, then it kind of beats out the American Express Gold card if you think about it. So I choose to take that route because, like I said before, I can't justify the annual fee from the American Express Gold card. If you have a good catch-all card with no annual fee, it's almost just as good as the American Express Gold card minus the $250 annual fee. I don't like the idea of dealing with transfer partners. I know people and I've seen people dealing with transfer partners with their MR points. So whenever they book out a flight, they will book out a flight months in advance. And if they ever have to change something, it's not as easy as you would think. You got to go through a lot of hoops in order to get your flight changed and make sure your points aren't used or you lose those points. It's just a big headache from what I see. I mean, I could be wrong. Comment below and let me know if it's extremely easy for you. But from what I see, it seems like, why would I want to deal with that when I could just get the cash back from these cards that just give me straight money that I need today, rather than waiting months in advance that may never come, or I might have to reschedule because life happens. And that's just me personally. I'm sure there's a lot of people, well, I am actually sure there are a lot of people out there that would prefer to do this method, because apparently majority of people are team travel, which don't make sense to me. But hey, in the fourth and last reason I do not have the American Express Gold card, simply because I don't travel like that, and it is a travel card. So I don't really go out of state much, and when I do, it's somewhere really close so I can get there by car. So there's no need to go to an airline and fly to a different state or a different country. I'm not quite interested in that right now in my life. I'm really focused on income at the moment. Not to say that is like not a happy life, but I don't look at life like happy or sad. You just live your life. I'm just not in a position to where I want to travel a lot. I'm a homebody, as they like to say. So I don't travel enough to justify the American Express Gold card. So for those people who do like to travel, I think this could be a good card, but I think there's better travel cards than the American Express Gold card out there, especially nowadays. I think people justify that card a little bit too much and put it on too high of a pedestal. I could be wrong. Comment below. Tell me why you do have the gold card, or tell me why you don't. But with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.